Hi guys, welcome back to RT Share Tea, where respiratory therapists live out loud. With me, your host, Linda Fry, the Asthma Lady. Yes, welcome everyone. Welcome to anyone new. Super excited to have you guys, and thank you all for the support. So this week, we are talking about how strong emotions can trigger asthma. All right, so last week we were talking about September Asthma Peak Month. So September is a month where asthma flare-ups are the highest because of a bunch of things, right? So things related to weather changes, superstorms, hurricane season, all that stuff. Then we have stress related, which is what we're going to be mainly talking about today, is emotions and stress because of back to school time. And like we said, folks came back from vacation and getting back into these routines. We have things like being exposed to mold and pollen ragweed, viral infections, so your COVIDs, your RSVs, your flu, and I said COVID already, right? Okay, yes. So all of those, those respiratory viruses and illnesses that are out there. So we already spoke about September Asthma Peak. And now what I want to talk about is strong emotions and how this triggered your asthma. So strong emotions are well-known asthma triggers, right? But there are sometimes we just don't realize how much of a problem this is for some people. Okay, so I want to give you a few examples of what I mean. All right, so let's rewind. What is asthma? So asthma, once again, is a chronic lung disease of the airway. So this is something that affects our airways and our lungs. So the airways is like it's a tube pretty much. So for those of us that have asthma, the tube usually is full of mucus. It's narrower, it's gotten smaller, and it's inflamed. It's swollen, inflamed, and the muscles around it has gotten tighter. So that's what's happening to folks that have asthma, like, uncontrolled asthma. So that's what it looks like. And so think about it. Every time a trigger, something that makes your asthma flare up, you're exposed to a trigger, this pattern starts up again. It's like, so in your airway, there's something called an epithelium. So that is the airway lining. So the epithelium is the first line of defense for the airway. So when something comes in, like a virus or a bacteria comes into our body, the airway epithelium defense system kicks in. So and it actually disrupts the pattern. It disrupts the epithelium. So it kind of goes through a pattern of wear and tear, and it kind of repairs itself over and over and over again. And eventually, as you continue get your airways get triggered, it makes the airway more sensitive, right? So the epithelium is like, it's just ready. It's ready, and the defense system is on deck. It don't even like wait for a large amount of whatever this trigger is. So it's very sensitive. So your airway naturally, as someone who has asthma, naturally is sensitive. That's just what it is. Okay. So now when it comes to things like emotions, let's show you how this can be a trigger for some people. So I am one of those people who has asthma, and emotions can trigger my asthma. So one of the emotions that is a trigger for me is laughter. Laughter is a trigger for me. So if I'm laughing very hard, those belly laughs, like from the gut I am starting to wheeze. So this is an asthma trigger. I start to feel tight. So this is why I carry my inhaler with me pretty much everywhere, because I love to laugh. I love to have a good time. You understand? So it is this emotion triggers my asthma. Another one is when, let's say, like when you're not frustrated, like a mixture of you're angry, but you can't say what you really want to say. So you're in between, like, just being angry and like you want to cry at the same time because you can't express yourself the way that you want to. So these two emotions, right, for me, they often are emotions I can't get out very quickly. So they kind of, like, sometimes it's like it just stays either on my shoulders or in my throat. It's like, you're restricted and you can't express yourself the way you want to. And this actually causes me to start feeling tight in the chest. Like I get a feeling of chest tightness and I start to wheeze. And then sometimes it's just like, girl, just go cry somewhere. It's just like, go to the bathroom and just go cry. Because now you done triggered your asthma. You done set yourself off. Okay, so now we gotta go get the inhaler and resolve the issue. Just cry already. You know what I'm saying? So I'm one of those people. So these are emotions that truly can trigger your asthma. So we oftentimes hear about the other triggers, like things like allergens and things that are outside, but emotions can also trigger that off. So you have to think about people who are pregnant. This is why when those that have asthma and they're pregnant, why we often recommend them to go see, of course, they're in additional to their OBGYN, they can also see their asthma specialist at that time, because that is something that we are looking out for. Want to make sure that you're not being triggered due to your pregnancy or emotions linked to those emotions linked to the pregnancy. All right, guys. So think about all of those factors, things like fear, anxiety, depression. There have been evidence linked to all of those emotions, and but it's not consistent across the board for everyone. The asthma outcomes look different for everyone when it comes to emotional triggers. So now what can we do for those of us that have strong emotional asthma triggers? What we can do is utilize things like mindful breathing techniques, right? So just breathing where you are being mindful, you're paying attention to the breathing, and we are slowing down. We're taking a time out. And we are paying attention to our breathing pattern, right? And we're trying to use our belly, breathe from our belly. So we can use something called diaphragmatic breathing. So what that means is we're using those deep breaths. So this is where you can take a breath through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. All right. And just taking a few of those, just taking a minute or two of belly breaths can really just calm you down and really just calm down from those, help you deal with those strong emotions. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it. So that's sometimes what I do. Let's say if I can't get to my inhaler quick enough, So you can try to at least subset some of the symptoms just by calming yourself down when it comes to the emotions. So once again, you always want to check with your doctor, your primary care provider when you're having any of these issues. I'm just simply sharing what I utilize and what I do when I'm having a difficult time with dealing with those type of emotions. And what I do is, once again, I use those type of breathing techniques, mindful breathing, diaphragmatic breathing. So using the diaphragm, which is under the rib cage, which helps us to take air in and push air out. So yeah, the diaphragm, right? So anyway, folks, that's pretty much it for this week. I hope you learned something here from me today. So for those of you that have asthma, once again, just spreading awareness around September Asthma Peak Month. So this is that month, and just making sure that you are aware of what you can do around this time. So make sure you're getting those written asthma action plans, that you have your medications, that you have gone for your checkups, that you are consistently washing your hands appropriately, getting those vaccines that you need, and just doing self-care and taking a time out when you need it. All right, guys. So yes, it's just a stressful time, and we all know life be lifing. Right? All right, guys. So yes. With that being said, so once again, we are on Facebook. We have this Facebook group, the Black Women's Asthma Alliance, with the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America. So I'm one of the program advisors. So I will have that in the description below. We do so many different activities around asthma engagement, and we just want to provide a supportive platform for those with asthma. So, and though for those that take care of others with asthma. So come join us. And once again, I'll have the description here below. All right, guys. So thank you so much for being here with us. There is so much more to come. Remember, we are here every Wednesday on most podcast platforms, and we are on YouTube on Thursdays. All right, guys. So remember to invest in yourself and to only compete with yesterday's version of you. I'll see you next time. Bye.